Okay, just adjust it a bit. That will be okay. Hey y'all, it's Ryukin here, and welcome to the new exciting video of 2025. Yup, this video right here is going to be the first video ever that is going to be posted in 2025, and since the last year it is already gone out, so that means whatever I made the video in this year right here is going to be all in this 2025 right here. And also in the previous video I have already talked about some in-depth analysis and the basic functionality of the VIVO V5 right here, and of course in the previous video it was posted in the previous year, so that means in this year right here I'm gonna be talking about, just like what I promised in the previous video from the previous year, everything all about the advanced features and more stories about this phone. They'll all be in the next year. I'm gonna be talking about the advanced functionality of the VIVO V5 right here, or what it's going to offer you and me. And yep, just like what I promised in the previous video, without any hesitation, so let's get the intro rolling. And for what I promised in the previous video, for all about the advanced functionality of this phone right here, I'm going to be talking about the 3 things. Yep, only 3 things. So I'm going to be talking about camera, the OTG function, and the internet test, which is going to be the last on this list. So without any further hesitation, let's get right into the first topic of the video, which I'm going to be talking about the camera of this phone. So get rid of those notifications that is bombarding me right now, and you can see that here's what it looks like from the lock screen. I'm gonna be swipe that out, and let's get right into the stock camera app first, and before we get to any of the unfold stories of the camera resolutions in an open camera app, which I'm also gonna be talking about that too. And right now I'm gonna be opening up the camera, and as you can see here, the camera, it looks quite stock alike. So you can see that you got only a few functions that you can do here, like a shutter button right there, the playback function, which is basically just the playback functionality right here, and all of those videos right here were from the last take that I've taken, and since I look at it, it was like 40 minutes of raw video, so but I just don't want to waste any storage space, so that's why I re-recorded this take in a much shorter version, or maybe a longer version, I don't know. So you can see that here's what it looks like right here for the playback, and of course you can play off the videos right here. Well, the lazy speaker mode just turned on this phone, and that's the playback. And you can also select filters right here, which you can choose from these 8 filters right here. I mean 8 filters actually, if I'm not gonna count the other one right there, which it says none, so which is basically just no filter. There's a black and white, there is a forest, there is some Korean stuff going on, as well as the other filters right here, which it tried to make it look like that it was taken from the film camera days, but the most of the modern smartphone these days does have filters, but I just don't even sure about the Nothing phone though, or the other phone models of this era to have all of these filters right here. And of course we have watermark, which I'm not going to get into deep detail that much, because you know this might going to waste a lot of space on my camera, so I'm not gonna talk about that. You get an idea of what it looks like on the watermark. And aside the function right here on the left hand, and what about on the right hand side? So I mean the left side actually, but I just keep confusing my words. And aside from the right hand side right here, where you can access to your shutter, your playback, and your filters, and on the left hand side you can see that here's your access to your flash, and you can also switch from the back to the front camera, which is going to be looking like this. Switch that back, and we take a look at the 3 dots right here, which is basically just access the advanced features of the camera app, or what it's going to offer you. And for the advanced features of the camera on this phone right here that you can do, so you got your HDR, panorama, night, PPT, which I think that something had to do with the documentary things on paper, not the fundamental paper education, or otherwise somebody might actually kill that kid. And the professional mode, which when I access that, it access through the rule of thirds and everything right here, and including the manual focus, the manual shutter speed, the manual ISO, and the manual exposure compensation. And you can see that you can change the rule of thirds right here from just a basic one. You can choose from this and a golden ratio, and including nothing. And the low side about the professional mode right here is that the quality is only stuck at 30 megapixels, which that means you can't even set anything to a 60:9 or 1:1. And if you screw up the settings, you can actually just press this button right here to reset all of the settings right here on the professional camera app, which is basically just reverse everything back to its original position. And you can also see everything right here much better by pressing this button right here. You can see the more detail of the manual stuff right here that is actually going on in the camera, and that includes the manual white balance. Exit that. And outside the professional mode, we also got a slow mode, which is basically just takes a video in a really slow motion frame rate, which I don't even think that is going to get any 120 frame rates from it, but it's more like a 30 frame rate, but shoot at a really low shutter frame rate, which it makes picture kind of look dark in the video. And of course, it's only recording 640 by 480, not 720p. Unfortunately, anything much better than this, and including the modern smartphones too. And the fast, which the fast right here is basically just leaves a shutter for long enough, it forms a stroke-like image from the car headlights, like what it actually suggests here in the photo of that mode. And outside the advanced features right here, the settings underneath right here or the right hand side, you got the sound, which is basically just mutes the sound on the camera, so you can actually use this phone right here and take pictures in a convention room or any other places that it requires silence. And we also got voice chatter, which can say 1, 2, 3 or cheese, which whatever you say these two words right here or neither of them is going to take a photo for you. And of course, I found out something that even on the voice chatter itself says 1, 2, 3, but in Thai for some reason. I don't know why. Touch capture, which is basically just when you tap something on the screen right here, it takes a photo for you, and that is going to make your camera autofocus first and then takes a photo, something like that. And palm, which is basically just when you take a photo from the back camera and you show this palm right here, you can actually take a photo of it while you have your palm right here raised, and it's going to take a photo for you. And maybe in this case, if it actually works, so you might going to get a cell timer for that. And speaking of the cell timer right here, the cell timer you can set up to is 10 seconds and the lowest is 3 seconds, like what it actually suggests here. And the data detection, which I'm not going to get into detail that much because that's for the front camera. The photo size you can choose from 4:3, 60:9, and 1:1, which they don't even tell me of what the true resolution of these things are. The video size you can choose from 1080p, 720p, and 480p, or the HD video quality, which is the same quality as what it was used on the slow-mo mode. That's the exact resolution, 4:3. And for the back camera right here, I have set it to 720p for some reason, and I might have going to turn it to 1080p. And the mirror selfie and the photo watermark, I'm not going to talk about that. And the storage location, you can switch from the memory card to your phone storage. So this might depend on the person. So if you prefer a phone storage right here, you can tap that and it sends itself to the phone storage. And if you don't want that, or you want to save something onto your memory card, you just press this button and it turns back to the memory card. Just like that. And alright, so for the interface right here, they're most looking the same. So it's mostly looking the same, so except for the aspect ratio might change. So you can see that here's the video. On the right hand side, it's basically just changed itself to a red button to record a video. And for the face beauty right here, which is basically only can be used for the front camera, which I'm gonna be switching that. And here's the front camera, so you can see that here's what it looks like. And the video is the same. And the one plus side about this phone right here is that the front camera, just like I said in the previous video, it has a video flash, which that means you can just turn it on the flash right here if you want to take a photo or video. In a dark one, have a selfie camera, which is not the thing that the most of the modern smartphone these days, because you know the modern smartphone on my iPhone 10 right here, which it doesn't even give me this feature right here to turn on the flash when you're taking a photo or video in the dark, which it is something that the most of the modern smartphones won't do anymore in 2025. And well, but that's the plus for Vivo V5 right here. And if you aren't serious about the flash that much, you can just use it like a regular phone camera. And that's gonna be it for the camera functionality on this phone right here. So, and right now I'm gonna be showing y'all some photos and videos that were taken using the Vivo V5 right here, which I'm gonna be talking about the lot of advanced functionality in the open camera app in later. And alright, so right now I'm gonna be splicing y'all some photos and videos that were taken from a Vivo V5 right here. And then after the showcasing the camera, so I'm going to be talking about a little bit of conclusions, and then I'm going to be getting back to the open camera app of what I found in there, like real quick. And here is a video test from the front camera of the Vivo V5. So you can see that here's what it looks like, and you can see that it doesn't even have autofocus. So for this part, it has a higher resolution than what on the back camera. You can see that the video right here, I'm gonna say, is pretty crisp, almost like 4K in a nutshell. And the good thing about this camera right here on the front is that it also has a flash, which is not that bright as the back camera is. But again, it does the job as a flashlight on the front camera, so you can actually see yourself in the dark. And here's what it looks like right here in a scenario when you're blocking around the city. So it looks like. So I'm gonna be trying walking around, like even just a little bit. Okay, so I think that's enough now for the front camera here of what. So this is basically going to give you an idea of what it looks like right here in a nutshell. So, alright. Here's the stem of the camera, just looking like this. And here's a Nokia 3315. So I always have a joke that if I put a Nokia right here over the camera, it would turn itself into a smartphone like this. But that was the one of those jokes that I made back then when I got this camera here and the phone. Like put it together like this to create a smartphone. It's just looking like this. But there will be no problems for this assembly camera at all, but since it's basically just shoot in one by one picture like what you see here in the viewfinder. So but there's nothing there in the viewfinder at all. It's basically just a hole that you can look through like this. And here is a interesting collector's item, an Uno Mini from Oreo. So it's basically just a little card there, a miniaturized version of the regular Uno. And here's a junk. So this is going to be basically it for the video test. So let's get right into the other parts of the video real quick. And for the photo quality and the video quality that it is taken from this thing right here, which I'm gonna say it's still decent, but although it still does the job. But I wouldn't expect anything much from this phone right here, but since it's all just basic standard for this style of smartphone from 2016. And for what it's going to offer me, everything from this phone right here is basically just standard, but except for the main selling point back then was a front camera that has many megapixels 10 on the back camera. But I wouldn't expect anything much from the Vivo V5 right here in terms of camera quality. But I'm gonna say it's still decent. But of course, if you aren't serious about things that much, you might have going to use this phone right here for a camera or for your other stuff, like what I'm going to be talking about here in this video. So, and alright, so let's get right into the stories of what I found right here in an open camera app. So you can see that I also installed open camera app right here, like what you see here. And right now I'm going to be turning on that. And you can see here, here's an open camera app. And right now I'm going to be talking about what I found in there right here. So, and for the photo right here, for the back camera, you can set the camera resolution up to 13 megapixels, which is basically 12.98 megapixels, which is basically an approximate 30 megapixel quality. So this is not the perfect number, but of course they actually call it 30 megapixels anyways. So you can see that that's 12.98 megapixels there. And also for the video right here, for some reason I found out that this phone right here can record up to 4K, but whenever I have a 4K on it, when I press record, so what it actually does when recording a 4K video on an open camera app from VIVO V5 right here, it basically just downscales itself down to 480p, like for no reason, and I don't even know why. And of course I don't even think that the 4K right here would work on this phone, so which that might have explained why the 4K right here just doesn't want to work on this phone, and it's basically just downscales itself to 480p, just like that. And no matter how I change the frame rate, it's basically just limits itself to 480p when recorded. So, and I even put the 24 frame rate right here on this phone too, so you can see. And unfortunately, a pound frame rate doesn't work on this phone, which this phone right here, it's going to be stuck at NTSC frame rates, which that means I have to choose a 24 frame rate, a 30 and 60 FPS, which that would work for this phone. And whenever I have a 60 frame rate on, it's basically just only limits out at 30 frame rates per second, which that's another side for frame rate, but I choose to make it only stuck at 24 frame rates anyways, because you know that was the only best option that I have right now when it comes to video recording on an open camera app on this phone. And yep, so for the bitrate I have set to 30 megabits just for good measure, and it offers a video subtitle right here, which is basically just slap a subtitle right here on the video, just like what on my Sony Handycam did and the most on the model cameras do. And alright, so I think that going to be not much for the story that is going to be unfold for the open camera app for what I discovered. And what about the front camera right here? The front camera is basically the same, but except no 4K on the back camera. And for the photo right here, you can set up to 19.66 megapixels, which again is an approximate quality. So this is actually a so-called 20 megapixels camera, but although it's basically just 19 megapixels there, but of course, again, this is an approximate photo quality that you can get out of this phone. So what do you expect? And the video right here is basically the same thing, but except it's up to 1920 by 1088. So which is basically a video quality that is basically just going to play back itself on the buffer when playback on some certain video players like a VLC or the Windows Media Player, or even its built-in camera app, I mean the built-in gallery app on this phone. Alright, so I think there's nothing much that I want to talk about here, but aside from having some misleading specs on the open camera app and some funny stories that I found here. For what about the zooming right here, which you can zoom up to 4 times. Oh, come on. Yep. So you can see that right now I'm zooming on that and zoom out. You got only 4 times digital zoom on this camera, so there's no other than 4 times. And alright, so that was basically it for the camera functionality of this phone right here. And what's next? So the next thing right here that I'm going to be talking about in a real quick, which is going to be all about an OTG. So for the new generations, if you didn't know what OTG is, so I'm going to be explaining to y'all what it is an OTG. From what I experienced so far, an OTG, it stands for an on-the-go feature, which what this feature right here actually does right here is that it's basically just when you plug it in something into the phone, like if you want to plug it in your keyboard or mouse into the phone, or even you can put your USB flash drive on this phone. This feature right here, it still lives on in the modern smartphones like the Nothing phone, including my iPhone 10 if that does count, or even my VIVO Power U30, which it also supports an OTG feature. The most of the times back then, the OTG wasn't the thing that much back then, and the only thing that you expect is basically just using for charging and for transferring data from the phone to the computer. And so what the OTG actually does right here is basically just when you put something into the phone right here, like for example a USB drive, which that means you have your flash drive right here being hanged down like this, and then it let the phone read it. So but the most of the times right here, when you importing something from the flash drive to the phone, so you have to get the OTG feature on this phone first before you get into anything. But for this VIVO V5 right here, there's that settings that you can actually turn that on. And after 5 minutes of inactivity, it basically just shuts itself off after there's something that is actually in the charging port right there. And right now I have plugged it in, and I'm gonna be plugging in the other accessories right here that I'm gonna be demonstrating, which it is this, a video capture card. So what am I going to do with it? My face looks black. And right now I'm gonna be plugging in this right here to the USB, and then I'm gonna be turning on, and that it will turn itself into a camera monitor in a matter of seconds. See? Yup, so I'm gonna be start. Yup. What the? But I'm gonna say right here, you can see the live feed from the video capture card, so you can see that here's what it looks like. So this is basically just going to give you an idea of what it looks like right here when it comes to using a video capture card on the phone and to use it as a camera monitor for your camera. And that's gonna be basically it for the OTG functionality, but although I only show it a few minutes or a few seconds, because you know everything on here is going to be the same idea, like for the webcam and for the other stuff that I want to talk about here in this video. After a short talk about an OTG function, right now I'm gonna be switching y'all to an internet test real quick. So after an internet test, I'm gonna be talking about some little bit of conclusion, and then I'm going to free y'all in a real quick. And as for the Google test right here, so I'm gonna be searching for something right here. And as you can see right here, here is what it looks like for Google search, and you can see that it's basically just all of the stuff right here that I didn't ask anything for. Poco website is now discontinued. Great. And right now I'm gonna be searching for something else right here. VIVO V5 is basically it. Here's the search, and I'm gonna be browsing a GSM Arena right here. Okay, come on, do it, baby. And you can see that here's all of the specifications of the VIVO V5, which is going to be looking like this. And the processor right here, which I didn't list in the previous video, is a MediaTek 6750. It has 4 GB of RAM and 30 megapixel camera 1080p video recording, and released in November 2016. And it originally comes with FunTouch OS 2.6, which this one here, it only maxed out at a 3.0 version, which is something that I might go to expect for an Android 6 smartphone. But at least it survived the YouTube update doom, unlike on my Huawei P8. And the VIVO V5 smartphone from Cyan Phone is what it looks like. And for the links for the GSM Arena right here, if I wasn't lazy, I might going to put it in the description. So because links are provided in the video section, so otherwise I will have to apply a YouTube partnership program to let me post the links in the video itself. So, but right now I only put the videos on it, so not gonna say. Alright, so that was it. So for Cyan Phone right here, so you can see my language, VIVO V5, and there talks about all of the specs right here. But even though the data for this phone here isn't that much as on a GSM Arena, but it basically just tells you what this phone really is. So alright, so I'm gonna search for one final thing right here, which I have made a reference to already. So I'm gonna be searching for this. But by the way, I found the series right here on accident when I was searching for something else right here. So it's an animated web series. Yep, so here's what it looks like. Image search again. Alright, and enough with the Google image search. So I'm gonna be doing the one final thing right here, which I'm gonna be using YouTube on this phone. So let me kill off the apps right here, including YouTube. And right now I'm gonna be opening up YouTube. Yup, there's YouTube. Alright, so I'm gonna be searching for myself. But hey, at least it's still stuck with the interface before August 2024. So you can see that here's the interface right here. I mean, it's from 2023 actually, so we're gonna expect. And right now I'm gonna be opening up my YouTube channel so you can see the videos from there. You can see that here's what it looks like in a nutshell. So let's browse my latest video right here that I've done in last year. See in this today's episode of the Weekly Dose of Reviewing Stuff. And as for the video quality right here that you can choose is only up to 1080p, which is something that I may expect for a long time now since I'm using smartphones right here to watch YouTube videos. So it's a basic thing that I would expect on a smartphone like this. So, but of course the speakers right here, they don't sound too bad. Let's get the intro rolling. So the speakers right here on this phone, they don't sound too bad, but they actually have like, you know, the lazy mode turned on for some reason. And of course, whenever I have like a really quiet sound sources playback on the speakers, it's just going to be richly quiet. But whenever I have something right here like a really loud sound source, like from this video right here, it's going to be really loud. And I'm not going to browse anything all over again. And again, I have my other Troll account right here on this phone, which I'm not gonna be using this account right here for doing stuff like what I did on the... Damn it. So, and yep, so that was really it for all about the three functionality of the phone right here. And of course, all of these three right here, they're all advanced functionality. And this video right here is going to be a final part of the review of the VIVO V5. And of course, before I go, I'm going to be talking about a little bit of conclusions right here, or what I think about this phone right here during the past from the previous video and until now. And first of all right here, for what I observed on this phone right here is that the VIVO V5 right here, the phone itself, it doesn't support Gemini, just like I said in the previous video, which that means I have to download a ChatGPT on this phone in order to get AI to work. I wouldn't download it because, you know, just like I said in the previous video, it's going to be like really sketchy when using an AI feature on a smartphone, like which right now is just like almost a decade old. So it's 9 years old now this year. And aside from the AI, what about Minecraft? Well, the Minecraft, you can't even play Bedrock Edition on this phone, which that means the Bedrock for this isn't available on this phone, and it wouldn't work either for the Google Play Store. And the only way that you can get this phone to work right here is just to download an APK file from the old versions and slap onto the phone, and well, you got your Minecraft rolling. There is something that is only working aside from the Minecraft, which it is Roblox, which is strange. Because Roblox doesn't even use that much graphics on this phone. So that's why they actually still have Roblox available on this phone. And for what about the other games right here? Well, if you aren't serious about this phone that much, you can actually just use it for letting your kid watch some good quality content if you want to. But of course, for such an old device like this, and if you are of those person who aren't serious about the modernization of the smartphone that much, you can use this phone right here for receiving calls and just use it to surf the internet what I did. And you can also use it as a camera, or for like me, I might be going to use this phone right here as a camera monitor for my Sony Handycam that I'm using right now. And of course, and with that setup right here, that is made of the video capture card and the OTG cable right here, straight plugged into the phone, and that it turns itself into a camera monitor in a matter of seconds, which is a plus actually for this phone. So the true reason why I grabbed this phone right here for the quality side right here is that I just wanted to turn this phone right here into a camera monitor and gave it a new life as a camera monitor and also as a camera too. So, and yep, that was gonna be basically it for the VIVO V5 review, and everything right here is covered up in this video and also from the previous video. So, and if you want to check out the previous video right here, again, the video might be in the description, because if I was really lazy to put it on there, I might go to put it somewhere else in this video. Or maybe if you want to learn more something about this, how I set up this microphone setup right here, so you can also check that video out in the other series of where I made the tutorials and hack shows. So maybe links are also in the description if I was lazy to put it on there, or maybe I might go to put it in the end video anyways, so I made the outro card, I think. And that's going to be basically it for a VIVO V5 review that I've covered throughout from the first video and to this video. And if you like this type of content like this, or if you want to see me play Minecraft in 2025, or you want to see me review stuff in 2025, so please leave me a like, comment แล้วก็ที่สำคัญมากเลยนั่นคือการกดปุ่ม subscribe สีแดงให้ผมด้วยก็เหมือนกับเสื้อที่ผมใส่อยู่ตอนนี้นะแล้วก็มันจะเป็นกำลังใจให้กับผมในการทำคลิปต่อๆไปทั้งในปีนี้แล้วก็ในปีถัดไปด้วยแล้วก็ทั้งตอนนี้แล้วก็ในอนาคตด้วย Alright, I think this is going to be basically it now for this video, and I will see y'all there all around, where I'm going to make more awesome quality content like this, and even more awesome quality content like this. And alas, for now, and for this today's video, that marks the final episode of the VIVO V5. And alas, for now, I'm pointing at you, and why am I looking at the LCD screen? And anyways, bye bye. สวัสดีครับ Woo! So Ruby just died on me. Yep. So I'll have to recharge him again.